Good afternoon on what is a warm and surprisingly bright and sunny day. It is Thursday, October 6th. I'm back in the Read Nook with some parcels and of course a nice hot cup of tea. And the next thing I am going to unbox is this. Let's have a look. And this is all, this has come all the way from basically Springfield, Virginia. So let's have a look what's inside. Let's get the knife. Not quite sure what this is going to be. So see if I get the knife in here. Now, okay, so pulling this open, what I have got is that's addressed to me. So let's see what that's in there. I'm not expecting it. Let's have a look. Okay. Sweet gratitude. Thanks for taking a look. Best Brian, I think that's very nice. Very kind of him to include that. That's a nice touch. And this little black package. So let's give this a slice open. So nicely wrapped in black paper. Oh, double wrapped because I've just unlaid that, and then there's here we go. And what we've got is Rackham Vale fantasy adventure from the Art of Arthur Rackham by Brian Saliba, Greg Schaffer, and it's part of Sign Quest 3 of the Crowbar Creative. Sorry, eyes are not what they used to be. So when the world was 100 years younger, during the golden age of British book illustrations, Arthur Rackham and his paint box gave birth to some of the most transportive, iconic and magical images this or any other world has ever seen. His work brought to life characters and settings from famous fairy tales, ancient mythology and timeless classics. In Rackham Vale, these images are given new life for your use in your tabletop role-playing games. The characters, creatures and scenes that Rackham captured become NPCs, villains and a hidden Vale setting that you could drop into any RPG campaign that could do with a touch of magic, mystery and old-time weirdness. In this mini setting, sandbox, you'll find high adventure, weird creatures, dark sorcery and oodles of riddling, trickery, ribald fairy folk. The design contains an original map with 18 key locations, a faction spread that charts relationships for easy reference, dozens of adventure hooks, an illustrated bestiary of 24 new creatures based upon interpretations of Rackham's artwork, tales for generating new settlements and creatures that fit the setting, a preparation checklist for GMs, content that prioritises accessibility and utility by emphasising concise, inspirational content rather than long paragraphs of overwrought flavour text. Stats for OSD, that's Old School Essentials, although the setting is compatible with and easily adapted to other systems, and of course loads of illustrations by the master himself. So, again, let's not basically say that's a lovely cover. Okay, perfect bound book, and inside we have a map postcard of Rackham Vale, which is a nice inclusion. Nice and handy, basic, rather than thumbing through for it, you've got it in the book straight away. and then we go into, got essentially a table in there. Now my only complaint first off is this, obviously it's a little perfect bounds. So it's kind of a case of it's going to be a little bit. It's not going to sit well. It's not an easy book necessarily to reference, and you kind of wish that it's black and white. Wish that some of it, more of it, was in colour. But of course, that does increase the production costs, and that's understandable. You know, that you can't have everything like that. And then we've got going to the preparation checklist for game masters. So I would say that's quite small text, I have to say. Let's have a look at that. It's quite small text, and that's probably not an easy read for a certain sizable segment of the book, the audience for whom this volume is aimed at. And now we've got an actual bigger version of that map I showed you just now. And essentially then we have essentially locations and basically first the locations which are inspired by particular pieces of artwork by Arthur Rackham. So the Golden River, we have a description of the Golden River accompanied by the original piece of artwork that provides the inspiration, and that's a nice touch. I think that's a lovely idea. So we have who, what is here, description of what the characters might find, what's interesting about it, potential danger in that you could get mercury poisoning from crossing it, and then Golden River encounters and motivations. So there's basically a location done in 2 pages, so basically, and then it goes on and does the same thing on the Vale High Road. So we've already dealt with the poisoned river and what can be found there, and then we go onto the Vale High Road, and here we have the highs. Basically, we have a wyvern or a dragon taking away an unfortunate woman as another runs away in fear. So we've already got a degree of high magic, sort of high fantasy here. And then we have the Bower Hall and King's Head Tavern. Again, sort of slice of country life sort of thing. Folk lounging around, a point of place to stop. And it does the same thing for Charcoal Village and so on. It's going through all these different pieces, taking this piece of artwork and drawing from them inspiration for content which you can play. So you does this over and over again at Napping Bridge. I could keep going, showing you this book over and over, just the nice pieces. The Copper Mine, just wonder quite what he's seen there. Nothing good, I'm sure. We've got the old keep and the forestry. That's quite unsettling, even weird. Let's see, let's keep going. The Dire, I think that's the Fairy or the Dire Pit, something like that. I'm not entirely sure. With that font isn't the clearest of fonts. I have to base it on first glance, and there's a fantastic piece about lots of action involved in that. And then we get on to factions. So we have a faction diagram, how they're connected, how they feel about each other, for the various factions in the Rackham Vale. We have Vale adventure hooks and creature-specific adventure hooks. So basically, you'll be using these to draw your player characters into the region. And I think this, in some ways, would be one of the things that this would actually kind of work with is the Dolman Wood setting. Dolman Wood is a fantasy setting that is published by Necrotic Gnome, the publishers of Old School Essentials, and it's mystic, mythical, but basically falling into melancholy, and there's a darkness to it, and it's inspired by the works of Lord Doomsday, and it's quite, again, it's fairly odd, and I think this would fit. You could take elements of this and drop it into that setting without much difficulty, because essentially Arthur Rackham and Doomsday would have been roughly contemporaries, and the inspiration again is there's a certain commonality between it. There's certain parallels you can draw. So we have things like essentially NPCs to encounter, like Brother the Spook, and we have with that we have a guide to role-playing him, his what he is, what he likes, what he hates, what he wants, his allies and enemies, and then his full stats. Basically, full-page space. You've got fantastic illustration, all of that information on there on the one page, on the whole one half of the page, and then on the other half, roughly the half, you have his full stats. And then again, it keeps doing this. There's multiple NPCs and different creatures, which should keep your players very busy and enforce the strangeness of the region throughout. So like you've got the No Moon Crone there. Again, I have no doubt no good as can be come of encountering her, even upon a first glance. So we come down to, we have even things like the questing beast if you actually want to inject a sense of the Arthurian into it as well. And we've got the Toad Prince and Veil Giants and Violent Youths and so on, Weather Vanes, and then tables for creating settlements and creatures at the end. So, I actually really kind of like this. This is a really nice little supplement. It is really kind of suitable for basically if you sort of like you want something magical, mythical, echoing sort of like with a sort of like semi-Celtic feel, then this would be perfect for it with and then all perfect for old school essentials, but again easily adapted to the retro clone of your choice. And that's the great thing about the old school Renaissance is, alright, you have your favoured retro clone, but the language and the terminology in many cases is the same. Translating one to the other is actually not that difficult, and it wouldn't be difficult with this. So I look forward to actually digging into this and giving it a proper review. I'll put a link down to where you can find this as well down below. In the meantime, thank you once again for watching another unboxing in the Nook video. I do hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please do click the like button down below. And if you've got any comments or feedback, please do post those. I do take the time to read them. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to yet more unboxings in the Nook, where you will see me out here in the Nook with some parcels and a book or a game, which I will talk about to the best of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so. Of course, all accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea. Then please do hit that subscribe button. In the meantime, thanks again for watching, and I'll be back again soon with another unboxing in the Nook. Bye for now.